Hi. Sorry, started right out with the throat clearing. Didn't mean to do that. So you may have noticed that there isn't a quiz posted yet for Curious Incident. I put some of those reading guide questions for, I believe, yesterday. And on Friday, there is a trivia PowerPoint, which is actually from when we used the Curious Incident of the dog in the nighttime as a preface book, and we had a trivia as one of the evening events. But I thought if you do end up teaching this book in an Adolescent Lit class or in a high school English class, when you graduate, you might want to have that trivia video to use. So the reason I haven't made a quiz, and I've just offered different formats for reading guides and maybe self-assessment, shall we call it, is because the discussion among those of you who have been participating, talking about the discussion of the book, has been really vibrant. And I believe the discussion is worth 55% of your grade, so it's really smart to invest your time in that as you are doing. So, I want to make sure everyone has the correct copy of the syllabus as well and knows that we're on the right page. The first short paper is due Sunday, July 7th, and there are directions for that in your daily work. Make sure you're using the daily work and the today's buzz to guide you, because I think some people might have ended up with a copy of the syllabus that was changed at the last minute. And if you want me to, I can email you the correct version of the syllabus just so you can make sure there's no confusion about that. For this week, there are discussions in a few videos and items to look at about Curious Incident, but I'd really like you to continue the fantastic discussion that you've been having in the discussion board. So, I had a few comments, shall we say. Now, later in the book, I want to shift the discussion to the idea of affect. Affect theory is currently really hot in literary criticism, and the affect is simply another way of saying emotion. So the way that Christopher experiences the emotional plane of life is pretty remarkable. But his way of processing language, specifically when he talks about a metaphor being like a bucket to carry a thing from one place to the next, which carries the meaning of a word from one thing to another thing, is a pretty brilliant way to explain metaphor and teach metaphor. So you could use this book to teach literary terms, but there's another passage that I really enjoy in the book that is about how he sees everything. And just as many people chat rather than talking and making meaningful conversation, Christopher truly sees and doesn't just glance at life. So I think some of the messages proffered in this book about how we use language, how we tell the truth, and how we see the world are pretty profound and certainly worth further discussion. For example, it is in chapter 181 in our prime number system, and beginning on page 140 when he talks about seeing the countryside. And it's the reason he doesn't like to travel to new places, because he becomes overwhelmed by counting and taking note of everything he sees and processing all of that information, which is a form of sensory overload. However, he says most people are lazy. They never look at everything. They do what is called glancing, which is the same word for bumping off something and carrying on in an almost same direction. So we might glance through our lives and not really meaningfully interact or impact or converse with people and things that we see. So on that kind of philosophical level, I find the Curious Incident really interesting. But this is also a function of having the autism spectrum disorder and of the way Christopher perceives the world and processes information. Yet I think it invites us into conversations of many different aspects of literature and life. So if you are concerned about not having quizzes and you don't like a quiz-free environment, then let me know. I can make quizzes. They've been a bit of a hassle for you so far, and I apologize for that, but I think I've fixed all of the bugs. And later in the semester, I'm happy to resume the quizzing, but I think for now, just to continue with the vibrant discussion that you're having, it makes this class almost like a graduate seminar, and certainly suggests to me that you're learning a lot. So until next time, have a great day. Thanks.